Hi, Derek Curtin here, Chairman of the Telecom Council of Silicon Valley. Wanted to talk with you about an upcoming meeting we have on next generation wireless. And it's kind of an out there meeting, so by next generation wireless, well, what does the ComTech Forum mean? What do we mean for our particular agenda? Clearly that's going to involve a lot of 5G. It is the next generation worldwide that's currently being deployed, that's replacing the extremely successful technology of LTE. But it isn't just 5G. So certainly we want to talk about that and the innovations taking place and the ramifications of that technology and how it fundamentally changes the economics and the throughput capability of 1 megahertz of spectrum. But we also want to talk a lot about the far out technologies, things that defy the Shannon-Hartley limits. So Shannon-Hartley famously has a limitation of the amount of bandwidth, the amount of data or information that can be crammed into 1 megahertz of radio spectrum. It's a hard limit of science. It's a limit of physics. So the only way to defeat the Shannon-Hartley limits are by playing games with the science. It's not as complicated as it sounds, actually. So if you take the physics out of it, you just talk about geography, you can beat Shannon-Hartley by building cells that repeat that limit over and over in multiple cells. So network densification is one of the ways that you can achieve a better result than you could just using a single tower. So additionally, we're seeing things like beamforming, aiming antennas. So a lot of companies are coming along that are saying, essentially saying our technology can beat this technology you're using, can beat 5G, and can beat these hard physical limits laid down by Claude Shannon. So, for example, a company like Artemis has now demonstrated their technology. It's pretty cool. So the question is then, how is that feasible? Is it commercially marketable? Is it something a carrier can actually deploy at a profit? Or is it something where the scale of the equipment exceeds the benefit offers in terms of throughput? So we want to look at these disruptive technologies and say, if they can exist, how might that disruptive technology be deployed and how might it work? We want to hear from companies that have these kind of disruptive technologies with some pretty wild out there claims. We want to kick the tires and see if those claims can be sustained and withheld. And we want to consider the future of wireless technology beyond 5G and think about the things that could be as we get creative in our ways of working around the existing limits of science and physics. So join us if you're a startup that wants to present, if you're a capitalized company that has really interesting ideas in this space and you want to show your technology or talk about it, that'd be great. If you are a network equipment vendor or a carrier, you'd be interested in this as well, I'm sure. So I look forward to seeing you all there as we talk about the next generation of wireless technologies with the ComTech Forum. With that, I'm Derek Curtin. Thank you very much.